Hi guys. The past couple weeks we have been working on understanding place value and doing rounding numbers and comparing numbers. Today we're going to move on to reviewing addition with regrouping. So today we're just going to review what it looks like with a place value chart and then how that compares to the algorithm. The algorithm is the standard way that we add, just like this. So first, let's look at this number, 728 plus 313. I'm going to place my first number in the place value chart. If you notice the place value chart I have labeled as ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. You could write the words on top. I did a little shortcut by just writing a 1 with an S, a 10 with an S. Okay, so first I have 728, so I'm going to write 700, 2 tens, 20, and then 8 ones. Last year you used dots to represent in the place value chart. This year we're going to use tallies. You can really easily see a group of 5. Okay. Now my next step is I'm going to add 313 to my number. So I'm going to add 300. I'm just going to add it up here until I get a group of 5. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, a 10, and then 3 more ones. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now I'm going to look at this and I'm going to add these together. Okay. In the ones I have 5, 10, 11. I can't put 11 in one place value. So I'm going to have to regroup. And how we do that, so we group this together and we're going to move this over to the tens because I know that 10 ones equals 110, just like you learned last year. Okay, so what that looks like in my algorithm is 8 plus my 3, and I get 11. Okay. However, when I regroup, I put 1 in the tens, and I'm left with 1 here. So 8 plus 3 was 11. I keep my 1s here and regroup that 10 into my tens place value. Okay. Now I add my tens. I had 3. Then I add 1 more. And I have 4. Okay, so that was 2, and then I added 1, and then I had my 1 of my carry. So I have 4. Now let's look over at my hundreds. I have 10 here, just like this. 7 plus 3 is 10. I can't write 10 in one place value, so I'm going to regroup it, move it over to the thousands. So I am left with 0 here and then 1 here. So I have 0 hundreds, but I regrouped it to a 1,000. So if you look here, I have 1 left in my 1 spot, 4 left in my 10 spot, 0 left in my hundreds, and then I had to regroup that hundreds into a 1,000. So I have 728 plus 313 equals 1,000, comma, 41. Let's try another one. Okay, let's do 554 plus 251. The first thing I'm going to do is put my 554 in my place value chart. So I have 4 ones, 5 tens, and 5 hundreds. Okay. Next, I'm going to add 251. I'm going to do this one in a different color so you can see the difference. Okay. And this time, instead of adding 2, I'm going to write it below. Okay, so I'm going to add 1. And then I have 5 more. So I have 251. I have 1, a 5 in the tens place, and a 2 in the hundreds. That's 251. Now let's put these together. If I look over in my problem, and I'm going to do the traditional, I'm going to show you what it looks like in the place value chart. I have 4 plus 1. So I have 4 plus 1, and I get 5. So I put my 5 in the place value chart. Next, I have 5 plus 5. Well, here I have 5 plus 5. That gives me 10. I can't put a 10 here. So I'm going to group my 10 together, regroup it as a 100. Okay. So what I'm left with is 0 tens. So if you look, 5 plus 5 is 0 tens left, but I regrouped it into 100. Now I'm looking at my 5 plus 2, so I have my 5 plus 2, and then I have my regroup that I grouped over from the 10. So 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 1 more is 8. So as you can see that whenever I have to regroup a tens and regroup it over to the next place value, that's what represents this number up here. And I just add it in like my other numbers. Let's try some without the place value chart. Let's do 642 plus 789. So I'm going to start with my ones place value. That way when I regroup to my next biggest place value. So if I start with my ones, it feels natural to regroup to the tens. Okay. So I have 2 plus 9 is 11. I can only put 1 down here, so I'm going to regroup 10 of them and put it in my tens place and leave the 1 down here. So 2 plus 9 is 11. I leave my ones and carry my 10. Regroup my 10. Then I have 4 plus 8 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. Okay. I can't write 13 down here in this one place value, so I'm going to regroup the 10 over into the hundreds because 10 tens equal hundreds. So I'm going to leave my 3 from my 13 and regrouped my 10. Okay. Now I have 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 1 is 14. Up here in our place value chart, I want you to look at that first problem. We regrouped that and put it over there, put it over into the next place value. But when we don't have any place values left to carry to, we just go ahead and write it down in the answer. So I would have 7 plus 6, 13 plus 1 is 14. So I put my 4 and my 1. Let's do one more. Okay. 204 plus 247. So I'm going to start with my ones place. 4 plus 7 is 11. I put my 1, carry my 10. That's regrouping my 10 into that place value. Then I have 4. I'm going to add 1 more and I get 5. Then I have 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to do some word problems today. And we're going to use the tape diagram, just like you did in 3rd grade, to help us. This looks very similar to the tape diagram or the bars we used in rounding as well. Okay, so let's look at this first problem. It says Wes has 493 paper clips. Zoe gives Wes 493 more paper clips. How many paper clips does Wes have now? So the first thing I did is I read the problem. Next, I'm going to look at what do I know. I know that Wes has 493 paper clips. I then know that Zoe gives Wes 493 more. Here's my question. How many paper clips does Wes have now? Okay. I don't know the total, but I know both of the parts. So I know that Wes has 493 paper clips. And then Zoe, let's see if we can get that zoomed or a little more focused. Then Zoe gives Wes 493 more, so we're adding to it. Okay. And now I just need to know the total. So I'm going to put these two numbers together. When we put the numbers together, we are adding. So here's my addition over here. We're going to use the traditional algorithm. That's the typical way that we add. So I'm going to do 3 plus 3 is 6. 9 plus 9 is 18. So what I'm going to do is I am going to keep my 8 and regroup my 10 in that number and regroup it to the hundreds because 10 tens is 100. Now I'm going to go 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 1 more is 9. So 493 paper clips plus 493 paper clips equals 986 paper clips. Let's try another one. It says Ian has 460 stuffed animals. Jan has 403 stuffed animals. How many stuffed animals do Ian and Jan have in all? Okay, I don't know the total, but I do know both parts. I know that Ian has 460 stuffed animals, so that's one of my parts. Okay. I also know that Jan has 403. But I don't know my total. So I'm going to use the traditional algorithm to figure that out. I have 0 plus 3 is 3, 6 plus 0 is 6, and 4 plus 4 is 8. So now I know my total. I put those together, and together those equal 863 stuffed animals. Now I answered my question is how many stuffed animals do they have in all? Today, you are going to be practicing the traditional algorithm, and you'll be completing this in your assignment. If you need to, you can use your dry erase board or a piece of paper to do your work.